Now you know this meeting is being recorded. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom from West Hampton Beach, where I am. First time ever here. And I invite you to join along, write to each other in the chat, say hi, Shabbat Shalom, and on Facebook as well. Hi on Facebook, hello. We're going to start off with Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hava Nashira, Hine Matov, how good it is we're here together. That was Rick Recht's Hine Matov. And this is Hava Nashira by Rob Aronson. And it's all about let us sing together. Come, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing 3 times. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Try it again. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing one more time. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, come let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, come let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Is the volume okay? Everything good? Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I just want to make sure before I go on, because everyone could be like, oh, her volume is horrible or something's wrong and she keeps going. Rather you tell me. So we're going to continue with the candle blessing. Now I'm going to share my screen with you. And here we are. So if you have candles, I do not have candles with me, but if you have candles and you would like to light them, feel free to do so now, or you can imagine what it is like and feels like to light Shabbat candles. Something changes in the atmosphere. It becomes almost magical. So as we light these Shabbat candles, we welcome the warmth of Shabbat. We welcome the warmth of each other. We welcome the warmth of being together and the warmth of our love and friendship. So everyone, if you put your hands over your eyes. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. We continue with the Kiddush, the prayer that really makes this day holy. Kiddush comes from the word holiness, kuf daled shin. The root of the word is holiness or sanctification. So if you'd like to hold if you have a wine cup or something that you'd like to hold up, or you can just pretend that you have a cup, and let us do the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava u'v'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the reading. Emily Glickstein, would you be willing to read this for us? Can you see it, and can you unmute? Unless you're eating. If you're eating, then you don't have to do it.
Oh, it's okay. I'll stop eating. Thank you. That's okay. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English, no Hebrew, no semantics, and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Amen. Thank you,
Amen.
Emily. You did a great job.
Thank you.
We continue with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 בני שבת נקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת ולבחירה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונחה, כי היא מקור הברכה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Everybody, לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Everybody, לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. Please rise if you are able and face the east to welcome the Sabbath bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי יללי יללי, בני שבת נקבלה. Continue with Mizmor Shir and Sadika Tamar. We haven't done these, I don't think. And so I decided to do them today. Also, if you're using your prayer book at home, we will be on page 22 in Mishkan Tefillah Shabbat prayer book. So if you are using your book rather than looking at the screen, we are on page 22. Oh, I'm sorry, actually, I skipped. Wait, no, I didn't skip it. Just kidding. We're good. This is Mizmor Shir by Cantor Natalie Young. Mizmor Shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot laDonai. Mizmor Shir leyom haShabbat, ulezamer leshimcha להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בחינוך מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני מזמור שיר ליום השבת ולזמר לשמך עליון. That's a little bit of a vacationing feel. One more time. מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני מזמור שיר ליום השבת ולזמר לשמך עליון. We continue with Tzadikat Tamar. On the bottom of page 22. The pages are different on this PDF, so don't get confused. In the book, if you have the book, page 20, we're still on page 22. Tzadikat Tamar Yifrach Keres Balvanon שתולי בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בשיבה דשנים ורנים יהיו להגיד כי אשר אדוני סורי ולא עוולתו בו. And now we welcome the Sabbath angels. Welcome the Sabbath angels. We welcomed the light of Shabbat. We've welcomed Sabbath bride. And now we're welcoming the angels. And we're welcoming each other. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that concludes our Kabbalat service. And now we come to Baruch Hu, where we truly are now a community, right? No, just kidding. We're always a community. We come together, and now we bless Adonai. We bless God. So I'll start it off, and then join in on your part. I do the first line, and then you all do this part here. Although I'll sing it with you, just because we're on Zoom tonight. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. We're on page 28, by the way. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Your turn. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praised be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. Le'olam Va'ed. Joanne, would you mind reading the next reading? Are you available? Joanne, are you there?
It depends entirely on if I can see it.
Yes, here is the reading. I was waiting until here it is. Bottom reading.
It's really tiny.
Oh, you want me to? I can make it larger.
Thank you.
Technology.
Oh God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Thank you. Amen. We continue with Ahavat Olam, and I invite you to think about how you give love, how you bring love to those who you love and those who you care about. God does it, and God did it and does it through Torah and through mitzvot and commandments and laws. And maybe you do it in the same way, but with different words, different language, different, maybe it's not words, maybe it's giving yourself in a different way. But I invite you to think about that while I'm singing this Ahavat Olam. And also, if you want to share anything in the chat or on Facebook, feel free to do so. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha, Ahavta, Torah mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, V'shochbeinu u'kumeinu, V'shochbeinu u'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha, U'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha, Ahavta, Ki heim chayenu, Ve'orech yameinu, Ve'orech yameinu, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. We continue with Ve'ahavta. You may be seated if you are standing. And we are on page Shema. We're on page Ve'ahavta on page 36. Good number in Judaism. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, veribarta bam, veshivtecha b'veitecha, uvlektecha b'derech, uvshochpecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai item kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Yod lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Hello everyone again. I can see all of you now. So I am going to do a little taste of Torah. Since Rabbi isn't here, I get the opportunity to do a taste of Torah. Little take on the Shabbat Torah portion this week, which is Balak. So I just need to pull it up. And I'm just going to spotlight myself so you can see me, although it's weird because now I'm looking at myself. But, so here we go. Shabbat Shalom. Many of you may know that there is a talking donkey in the Torah. Well, this is the portion where she makes an appearance. In Parshat Balak, the king of Moab, and the Moabites are worried that the Israelites in the desert nearby will eat all of their food, quote, as the ox eats up the greens of the field, end quote. Hence, Balak sends his messengers to ask Balaam, son of Beor, to curse the Israelite nation and send them on their way. Balaam requests that Balak's messengers stay overnight when they arrive so that he can give them an answer once the Lord speaks to him. The next morning, Balaam breaks the bad news to Balak's messengers that not only does God command him not to curse the Israelites, but God also declares that the Israelites are blessed. So some questions I have already. Why does Balak think cursing the Israelites will solve anything? Why can't Balak curse them himself? How does God speak to Balaam and why at night? Also, what does it mean for the Israelites to be a blessed people? I don't have the answers to any of these questions. These are questions that have come to mind and I thought you would be interested. After the messengers, maybe you know the answers, by the way, you can let us know. After the messengers returned to Balak, telling him that Balaam refused, Balak sends more higher ranked messengers with the promise that he will give anything to Balaam that he wants. Balaam responds that it doesn't matter what Balak gives him, simply he cannot do anything that will transgress God's word. He does have the new messengers stay over for the night, though, just in case he speaks with God again. Indeed, he did. And interestingly, this time God tells Balaam to go to Balak, but with a firm, "You must do exactly what I tell you to do." But because Balaam decides to go to Moab, during his trip there, God punishes him by having his she-donkey stop in the middle of the road. Balaam beats the donkey 3 times before the donkey speaks to him, and though Balaam is humiliated by the donkey's disobedience and not by the donkey speaking, God opens Balaam's eyes so that he can see the angel of God that stands before them. The angel speaks to them, saying that if the she-donkey had not paused, he would have killed Balaam and spared her life. Balaam admits that he has sinned and offers to turn back, but the angel tells him to keep going and to say whatever he tells him to say, just like God tells him to do whatever he's going to do. Some observations. It seems that God was testing Balaam twice. First, when God tells Balaam that he can go to Balak, giving Balaam a choice. And second, when Balaam's she-donkey comes to a stop during their journey. Apparently, Balaam shouldn't have gone in the first place. More importantly, he shouldn't have let his anger get the best of him to the point that he would hurt his she-donkey. Even more importantly, it is not until God opens Balaam's eyes that he sees what's really in front of him and the reason why his she-donkey acted the way she did. One lesson we can take away from this portion thus far is that sometimes we aren't able to see what's right in front of us. We either need to stop and take a breath to see what's really going on, or we need to be open to receiving help, in this case via a talking donkey. Another lesson is that oftentimes it is wise to pay attention to the behaviors of the domesticated animals or pets in our lives, for many of them have instincts and gifts that we don't have that can protect us from danger that may be invisible to us. When Balak and Balaam are finally together with a view from above of the Israelites in the desert, the numbers 3 and 7 come into play. Balak instructs Balaam to build 7 altars to perform sacrifices. Balaam does so, and then proceeds to curse the nation of Israel. However, he is unable to and blesses them instead. This happens 2 more times since Balak refuses to accept the reality that the Israelites can't be cursed. You would think after the second time that this pattern occurs that Balak would get the message, but nope, he doesn't. He insists on moving to a 3rd location, building another 7 altars, equaling 21 altars in total, and having Balaam try to curse the Israelites for a 3rd time. The same result ensues. During Balaam's 3rd try, he utters a well-known Hebrew quote, "Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mish kenotecha Yisrael." Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. And it's actually a much longer blessing that he gives, but we only really focus on that first quote. So if you want to know what the whole thing is, go and look. But that's where the quote comes from. At this point, Balak is raging with anger. He claps his hands and proclaims, "I called you to curse my enemies, but you have blessed them these 3 times. Now hurry back to your place. I said I would honor you greatly, but the Lord has deprived you of honor." Balaam responds with basically an "I told you so," reemphasizing that he had warned Balak's messengers that he would only be able to speak what the Lord speaks. So, what can we take away from this last part of the story? Well, from the beginning, Balaam knew what his limitations were and that his abilities were based off of what God would allow him to do. He very clearly stated this. He knew that he wasn't in control of the situation. But Balak must have not really heard what Balaam said. In other words, he didn't really open up his ears to truly hear, or Shema, and understand Balaam's words. He was so set on what he wanted, cursing the nation of Israel, that his mind was closed off to anything else. Additionally, as most of us know, there are times when we can't control the situation at hand, even when we really, really want to. Sometimes we must accept the situation and move on, or change how we view the situation. Furthermore, perhaps in the end, the Israelites weren't a threat to the Moabites. Maybe Balak and his people had preconceived notions that could have been eliminated had Balak confronted the Israelites himself. Rather than asking others to do the behind the scenes work for him, Balak could have been the leader and the one to take action, which could have resulted in him realizing that there was nothing he could do to make the situation go away. Let us take Balak's poor behavior as inspiration to be the best people that we can be. People with open minds, eyes, and hearts. People with courage to confront and be proactive, but also be aware that we can't control everything. And people who do not wish to curse others, especially because everyone in this world has the potential to be a blessing. Shabbat Shalom. I want to go back to gallery view so I can see you all. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat or on Facebook. I'd be curious if anything I said intrigued you or made you think of something else. Oh, you know what? I need to share my screen. Hold on one second. We're going to continue with Mi Chamocha. And this Mi Chamocha does involve some repeating after me moments. I've done it before, so I think you'll be familiar with it, but if not, I will kind of wink at you, or I'll do something with my head to tell you, or I'll use my hands. Mi chamocha b'limad Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Let's do that again. Mi chamocha b'limad Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora, repeat, tehilot, tehilot, oseh, oseh, beleh. Nora, Nora, tehilot, oseh, beleh. Malchutecha, ruadecha bokeya mivnei Moshe uMiriam. Repeat. Adonai Imloch Leolam Vaed. Adonai Imloch Leolam Vaed. Yalalai, yailai, 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 ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We take a moment for silent prayer and meditation. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety. and in your presence are acceptance and love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haparei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And I invite you to continue your meditative thoughts and prayers. Maybe say hi to someone, wish them well as I sing this next piece. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Oh, 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 oh. May all who struggle to find a rest on this day, may all who suffer find solace, may all who hurt find healing on this day, may all who despair find purpose, may all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'ten chalkeinu b'toratecha, sabeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'samcheinu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu le'avdecha be'emet, v'taher libeinu. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Oh, 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 amen. That piece was by Rabbi Noam Katz. So at this time, we take a moment to turn our thoughts toward those who need healing, who need a Misha Berach, who need a blessing. If you'd like to put names in the chat on Facebook, feel free to do so. Healing of the body, mind, spirit, soul. Our thoughts are with those congregants and their families who are ill. Joan, Sherry, Loie, Schwam, Melissa Longobardo, Emily Beth Watson, Vered Elisheba, Ariel Benjamin, Lois Lilling, Judy Godorov, Gordon Fink, Sherry Bilski McCann, Judy Weinberg. And if there are any others you'd like me to mention, please feel free to put them in the chat. Gladys Bernstein, Rita Jaffe, Stella Gordon Fink, Benjamin Hummel, Mimi Kraus, Cherish Flighter. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. And let us continue with Misha Berach. Share my screen again so you can see the words. Hold on one second. Bobby Rosenblum. Also Donna Abramson, right? I hope you're feeling better. I know you had surgery. So refuah shlema to your knee. And we join together, and all the names on Facebook count. I just can't look at Facebook and Zoom at the same time. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu, sorry, imotenu, mikor habracha, avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. I wanted to add also Ronnie and your family as you go through this difficult time in your lives as well. We've come to Mourner's Kaddish. Feel free as well to put any names in the chat that of those you would like to remember. I'll start off with the list from the congregation. For Shloshim, we have Gordon Allen Angel, husband of Shirley Angel, father of Beverly Angel. Judy Crago, sister of Andrea Lisco and Rick Chalk. Alfred Al Schlesinger, friend of Robin Anderson. Bert Schumann, husband of Ronnie Schumann. Thomas Richard Weiss, brother of John Weiss. For those of observing Yortzites, we have Harvey Alpert, Lily Benson, Maury Benson, Marilyn Greenberg, Merton Berger, Ella Goran Bloomberg, Elsie Dichter, Paul Downey, Jeffrey Eck, Herbert Elfand, Brian Erdman, Joseph Farran, Meyer Foreman, Leon Gibbs, Flora Goldsmith, Tony Herskovitz, Jack Jacobs, Alana Jacoby, Joseph Kunkel, Norman Earl Levy, Rose Kenner Mandel, Howard A. Mayo, Sr., Bertha Mendelson, Robert H. Milligan, Benjamin Nadelman, Roberto Pataki, Benjamin Polsky, Jerome Rennick, Gail Rose, Robert Saffer, Miriam Schechter, Lucille A. Schwartz, Charles Simkovsky, Harold Simons, Manuel Steinfeld, Max R. Stern, Benjamin Subin, Bill Dana Sadmary, Harvey Titton, Morris Valinsky, Stephen Vasco Jr., Myron Hugh Weinstein, Martin Winitzer, Helen Wool, Sam Woolman, and Bernard Zimmerman. I apologize for the mispronunciations at any point. And I think I mentioned Bert Schumann. I see in the chat Mike Kraus, I believe I mentioned, not sure. And then Dennis Magdal, my uncle. For those who are mourning any of these people, I invite you to rise if you are able, as well as on Facebook if you're watching. Please, we're here with you as well. You are in our thoughts and prayers. And we rise as one community as well. Can you see the Mourner's Kaddish? Can anyone give me a thumbs up if you can see Mourner's Kaddish? You can, okay. Yitgadal v'yikadash shmei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brich hu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those who we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Amen. So we're almost done. Announcements, no announcements except for next week will be in person. It'll just be me again because Rabbi will be on a well-deserved vacation. So it'll be me and it'll be in person and live streamed. And then religious school, if anyone is on here that has kids, if you haven't signed up and you're new, if you sign up by June 30th, you get a $50 off discount. Pretty cool. So I don't think any of you on here are in that category, but figured I'd mention it in case someone on Facebook is watching. We're going to conclude with Oseh Shalom, and then afterwards stay on. Please, if you guys want to talk, I'll stop Facebook. Sorry, Facebook. But we're going to conclude with Oseh Shalom and by Nava Tehillah. And feel free to stand, clap. Beverly, I know you like to dance around, so feel free. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'yakol Yisrael, Ve'yakol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Yalalai, 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 yalalai. La 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 la. Let me see those hands clapping. Oh, say shalom bimroma. There we go. Huya asa shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'yakol Yoshvei Tevel. Ve'imru. Amen. Hey, 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 hey. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Hallelujah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Everyone put their hands up like this. It's really cool. Go like this. Go like this. Ve'yakol Yoshvei Tevel. See, that's so nice. But not like this. Like this. Put it like this. So you're touching each other's hands. Ooh, oh, Beverly. Amen. One more time. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Wow, Beverly. Ya la 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 la, still. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh shalom bimroma. Huya aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'yakol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Feel free to stay on and talk. You can unmute yourself.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom all.
Shabbat shalom.
How pretty.
That's pretty.
Not really.